Good afternoon, everybody. Um, Before we go straight into the next segment, I just want to make you guys understand something. Every business, before you can be an employer, you must be an employee. Any business in which you cannot be an employee in that business will close down. It's just a matter of time. Okay, before I run through, my Oga, that's the CEO of Osbeta Limited, that's Dr. Austin Chemundu. We actually organized a training workshop for some group of organizations just for retirement and health issues. And most of them, at even their old age, they're actually considering starting up a business. Because why? They've actually they've functioned as employees. So they believe that going as an employer, they understand how this employee mindset works. Even my PPA employer has actually worked as a teacher for 15 years before he started this. So I just want to encourage us to understand that there's essence in being an employee in your organization. Next slide. Okay, we're going to be running through effective ways of searching for a job, then going for an interview, expressive expectations, how do you express yourself in an interview? It is very, very imperative and important. Next slide. Okay, now before we say we are searching for a job, the question is we must first know what information is it we are actually searching for. Okay, now funny enough, when today's 21st century where information is made at our fingertip, all we just need to do is Google it. There's nothing you are looking for in this world that you can't Google and not find there. Okay, so the first question is where to search for this information. I am looking for a job, I need to be so. How do I find it? Simple, Google it. It's not difficult. Once you paste Google job spaces for so vacancy, it brings out a couple of things there and you just know exactly where to apply to. Or you just bring out possible jobs you can possibly do. Now, the next one is job search websites. Now, we have websites that have been created in today's world that allows you to put your CV or put yourself online where employers can reach you. A good example of this job site is Jobberman. I don't know how many people here have heard of Jobberman. Okay, there's something called Jobberman, then there's OLX, and there are other job websites, but Jobberman is the most popular of them all. Now, what employers do is they just go to Jobberman, create, okay, they are looking for an employee, they just paste the requirement of what they want, and automatically they decide to send you a message that, okay, a new employer has probably posted so thing concerning so events, go and check it out. And you just go online and say, okay, this is what this man wants, blah, 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 and you just send him your CV, he invites you for interview, life is made easy. Then another one is company website. Now, most companies, most of the time, don't advertise vacancies. Okay, you hear stories or testimonies of people that were moved by the Spirit. You just walk into an organization and say, sir, I am looking, just like Les Brown's story. He walks into an organization and says, sir, I am looking for a job. And you say, there is no job, go away. You come back tomorrow and they keep doing that. Or just like a pastor in my church that said he got a job by just sitting in front. He goes to the company every day. He will sit at the gate, watching how they do things, seeing how they do things. Then when there was the shortest space of interview, he jumped in there and said, sir, I know everything about you, told them their history, and the man was surprised and gave him the job because of his curiosity and wanting to learn. It was surprising to know what people can do to get a job. Now, the next question is when to search for a job. Now, on the news, jobs are being advertised everywhere. We just don't see it. Okay? On the newspaper, we have Guardian newspaper. Now, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, there are job vacancies that are being published on the newspaper. So you just have to make yourself available to when that's on that Tuesdays and Thursdays, you purchase the newspaper and find out which job is available and if you meet the requirement. Then there's another one, This Day. Now, This Day's newspaper brings out its job opportunity on Wednesdays. The same thing with Punch. Punch equally brings out their own. So at least if you cannot find This Day, Punch comes in handy. Then the next one is how to search. Now, the thing is this. Most persons, they say, I am looking for a job, and they sit down in their house and expect job to jump to their room and come and meet them. It doesn't work like that. If you want a job, you go out and search for a job. How? Through networking. You meet everybody around you. Sorry, I'm looking for a job. The person will ask you, what kind of job are you looking for? I'm looking for so kind of job. Now the truth of the matter is you don't know who you are talking to. The person might just say, okay, yeah, you want a job. I know an employer, blah, 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 that actually looking for this particular vacancy. I'll send you the link. Tell him that it's for me. He just sends you this thing. Before you know it, you've gotten a job. That's easy. And some people are like, how did you do it? Very simple. Networking. Another one, again, on how to get a job is subscribing for job newsletter. Now, technology has been made so easy. You will see alerts on your phone that will tell you, subscribe for job interviews, okay? Maybe Dangote group of companies, Chivita, and some other companies, when they are having vacancies, they will send you alerts to your phone that, okay, this particular company is vacant, send your application letter at so time, at so space, within a so period. So it allows you to actually get jobs easily without actually sitting down 100 days at home, without actually finding a job. Next slide. Okay, now the next one is cover letter. Now, most people, before you actually prepare a CV, it is imperative you know what cover letter to put on your CV. Now, I drafted out a sample of how a cover letter should look like. Now, this is how a cover letter should look like. Now, the essence of a cover letter to a CV is to allow your employer to know exactly what position you are vying for. And it's more like an introductory approach to explain yourself to the employer that, see, my name is blah blah, I'm coming from blah, and I want you to give me a job in this. You understand? So that's just what the cover letter is all about. Next slide. Okay, so now I'm going to be running through how to, steps in writing a CV. Now, most persons don't know how to write CV. They don't even know what CV is all about. Let me explain something to you. As an employer, they don't have time, employers don't have time to be looking at your stories and your English. They just pick it 1 minute because they have thousands of CVs to address. They just pick it, they don't look at it like this. Straight on to the next. Then you will be on the other hand praying, oh, Father, let's give this job. Story, the job is not coming. Why? Because your CV is too voluminous and it's too unclear about what exactly you want. Okay, so we're going to be talking about identifying your skills and competence. Now, everybody has skills and competence, but the truth of the matter is most people don't even know that they do. So now the next thing is this. Check, evaluate yourself, find out what job have I done throughout my time, both when I was in school, now that I'm a graduate, now that I'm looking for a job. What are the skills I involved myself with when I did industrial attachment? What and what did I learn? What are those skills I learned? How can I exaggerate a bit of what I learned? You understand? It's very, very important to note all those things. It will give you a good edge of what to write. Now, if you look ahead, they say intellectual disposition and intellectual maturity. Now, each of them are different. Then intellectual maturity has to do with analysis, it has to do with cultural judgment, comprehension, like communication, how you communicate to your co-workers and everybody around you. Next slide. Then we'll now go down to the next one, identifying your skills. Now, it is very imperative, most people don't have skills. In fact, most people, they misunderstand what a skill is. If you go and learn bid can never give you a job in a corporate organization. It's not possible. Because corporate organizations, they have what they are looking for in their fellow candidates. Now, if you don't acquire skills that can help you get jobs in those big companies, they will just, before you even send your CV, they've rejected it. It's very important to understand what skills am I looking for. By the time I'm through in my service, what kind of job am I looking for? So automatically, you occupy yourself, you surround yourself with certification courses that will give you that job that you're looking for when you are through with your service. So these are one of the things you can use to actually know, identify skills. Now, another thing again that is very imperative is to know that spoken English is a skill. Ability to speak English is a skill. Ability to speak French, German, Russian is a skill. Because most employers are looking, maybe they're looking for an interpreter, somebody that can go for international or diplomatic missions. Next slide. Now, the next one is list your credentials and articulate your skills. Now, listing your credentials is just telling the person what advice. You can see here, there is a sample here of the skill. Okay, you see here, you see skills. Improvisation, music, compression, then level and degree of proficiency. Okay, it's just telling the employer, see, I am good in this, this is my level of proficiency, this is where and what I've done with what I know. So it is very imperative you list your credentials. I've worked in social place, I've done social thing, and I believe that giving me the job is going to be the best thing the organization will ever encounter. Next slide. Okay. Now the next one is review. Now, when you are actually going for you're actually working on your CV, it's very imperative you review your CV or what exactly it is you are writing, most especially the job you are vying for or the job you are actually seeking for. Now, sometimes you see some persons, they read a particular course in school, but they are doing different, what they are teaching is different from what they are actually putting for. Okay? So this one is just explaining examples of what and what review is all about. So next slide. Okay. Now, if you look at this, the following, these are the list of major components defined in a CV. Now, you see, for example, here they have professional career, vocation, research objectives. Now, they have educational background. Now, educational background, now we have different kinds of CV. We have chronological CV, we have functional CV, and we have the combination of both. Now, when you are sending your CV to an employer, most of the time you are going to be sending chronological CV. Now, what is a chronological CV? A chronological CV is a CV that itemizes your most recent work activities, starting from the most recent one to the oldest one, to the one you did. Let's say, okay, I'm a BSc holder, BSc of Business Admin, that's for university, study at maybe University of maybe Ibadan, for example. Then your secondary school, I went to British International College, then I did diploma in so, that one is under secondary school. Then my primary school, so that one goes at the bottom, that is chronological CV. Now, functional CV explains your skills and competence. You're telling the employer that, see, my skills, you're basing, the basis of your CV is around 2, 3, or 4 skills. You're telling the employer that, see, I have so skills, and these skills can actually work for you as an organization. So you're telling them, I can do this now, and this is what I'm going to do in the couple of years. So that is the essence of this. Now, research interest. Now, I want you guys to understand that when you are sending your CV to an international organization, let's say a school, you are applying for master, please don't send the CV like you are sending it for a job. No, they are not the same thing. Now, when you are sending it to a school, it's not the same when you are sending it to an employer. It's not the same thing when you are sending it for maybe to actually function as an executive in a company. So this research interest is like telling the school that, okay, this is the area I am vying for, this is the area I'm interested in once you give me admission to your school. Now, this goes down to, we have the work experiences. Where did I work? What have I done? What was my responsibility in the work? What was my job description? And the likes. Now, this brings us down to the curricular activities. Now, this explains some persons that probably never did curricular activities in school. Like me, for example, throughout my school days, I was always vying for debate. Inter-room debates, inter-faculty debates, interdepartmental debates, inter-everything debates, right from my secondary school. So, obviously, when I put that there, the employer or whoever it is I'm vying for will look at me and say, okay, yes, this guy is an outspoken guy, he knows exactly what to say. Next slide. Now, I want us to understand, that brings us down to the next one, a resume. Now, a resume and a CV are not the same thing. Resume is about a short or a summarized description of you, surrounding your professionalism. A CV is explaining your skills, competence, and what you can do, to what you can offer. Now, you have complete control of your CV. You can define how you sell yourself and the way you want your employer to perceive you. So, now what are the content of a resume? We have objective and summary, career profile. Now, this career profile just covers exactly what it is you've done. What have you done in your short lifetime, from your secondary school to your most recent work activity? What are your accomplishments? What are your achievements? What have you done? Let me give an example. Maybe, for example, I worked in a company, Surrogate Robotic Solution, and in that during that time I was working there, we went for National Robot Olympia competition, and when we won elementary, junior, and senior category, and our contestant, our candidate went to Russia for World Robot Olympia. You understand? Of which the company had to select a certain set of people to go for that competition. That is an achievement. You understand my point? Now, another person's achievement might be, I won Best Employee Award in my company. I was the best this. So those are the achievements they want to see in your resume. Now, that brings us down to experience. How many years experience? Now, I want to explain something to you. Any organization you work for, please make sure you don't work anything less than a year in that organization, because most companies are not interested in months. If you say you work there 3 months, just look at it as you went for internship. They will not even regard it as experience. What they are regarding as experience is a 1 year minimum of experience in that particular organization. We brings us down to education. what area of, what did you read, and how have you applied what you've read. Now, other aspect. Now, this other aspect has to do with your technical skills, your language skills, your strong points, and your charisma as a person. Next slide. Now, there are things that you must never include in a resume. As I said, a resume and a CV are not the same thing. A resume, you must never include months of employment in a resume. I was entered January 1989, and I went from January to December 1999. In fact, the fact that you even put the month set, they will just be like, what is it that this guy has never written his resume before? He doesn't even know the difference between a resume and a CV. So you must never include months, the month of employment in a resume. You just include 1992 to 1994. Autumn, work experience, you write it. Skills, write it. Jump, next part. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in too much stories. Resume summary. Okay, the next one is reason for living. Let's say, for example, someone says, okay, my resume, I worked in social organization, I got tired, they're becoming so boss there. I didn't even like the employer. I said, it's behave somehow, I had to leave. And you put that in your resume, disqualification, just from the very onset. Now, another one is salary. Don't ever include how much you want from an employer before you are given the job. Now, the next thing is references. Don't never include in the reference, in the resume, reference or referral available on request. It is a taboo. You write that on the resume, the whole thing you have written is story. Next slide. Okay, now we are done with what you need to, where you need to search to look for a job. The next one now is, what do you need to know when going for an interview? Now the thing is every interview has a common, how will I call it, appearance that they have to look, which is what? Corporate. You wear suits, which is natural. Now for the guys, you wear, it is very unlikely for them to see a guy, you wear, how will I call it now, you put too much accessories, or maybe you put chain. It's a taboo to wear chain to an interview. You just cut out as an unserious or unprofessional person. Even if as a lady, even if you want to put jewelry, all they expect is just a wristwatch. That's if you even want to wear anything fancy, then you just wear your black suit, and your clothes and everything must be on point. Your shirt must not look too shabby. Your tie must match with what you are wearing. Your shoe must not look like someone that just went for 100 days trekking. You must actually look good. When you enter there, you will hear some people, they will say they have handkerchief for shoe. Before they enter any organization, they will shine their shoe and make it look like they just came out from an AC car. Why? It's called carriage and marketing. Okay? So that's part of it. So one of the things you need to do is never wear a suit on a jeans. It's a taboo. Especially when you are going for a job interview, complete taboo. They'll just disregard you. Or you see a lady wearing gown with canvas. Have you seen it before? Alright. Now, expensive features to remember during an interview. When you are in an interview and you are standing in front of an interviewer, always learn to express yourself. One of the first things is market yourself. The only thing that should be in your head is, how do I sell myself to this employer? How do I make myself look attractive to him? Now the next one, show your interview that you're enthusiastic. When you are talking, when you ask you a question, you are answering with so much passion, like you are so passionate about what you know, you say correct, like giving you an So show that you are confident and you know your stuff. When they ask you questions, don't be like, you see, I can't really remember. I'm trying to remember. Is that because? Sorry. Next please. Alright, so next slide please. Okay, now list of items. Now when a person is going for an interview, it is very imperative that you take some items with you. One of the things you take to an interview is a pen and a notepad. Okay, now the essence of taking a pen and a notepad to an interview is for jotting. Just in case they are saying some things and you need to document some things that you might not remember once you leave the interview hall. And another thing again is taking several copies of your resume or CV. Now it is important to take your CV to your interview venue. Why? Because you don't know whether they have light in that company you are going to. You might get there and there's no light and they say, sorry, our computer is jammed, we can't find your CV. Do you have a copy here? And you say no. You say this one is not serious. Please, next person. Next. Do you understand? So it is imperative you have your copies of CV around you. As they are talking, you are dropping it in their phone. They say, correct, but man, this guy knows what he's doing. Okay. Now another one again is your list of reference. When they ask you who and who can stand for you as a corporate person, you should have somebody. Now, you should also have list of unoffensive questions you want to ask your interviewers when you are going for an interview. Now, few tips you need to know. Avoid fidgeting with your hair or accessories or clothes. Now, some people, okay, there was this time I was in an interview with a lecturer, and he was asking me, he sat at the other side, I sat at this side. He was asking me, he asked me one question, and I was just getting nervous, maybe because of the look of his face. When he asked you this question, because the man is a German-based man, he will look your eye like this. And when he looks at me, I'm like, then he was like, what's your problem? My friend, will you talk well? Automatically, I scored very low. Simply because of I was not composed. I was just jamming my mouth anyhow. And because of that, that one was Sahara. So what am I trying to say? You should try to not fidget, play with your hair, or wear too much bracelet, too much, how would I call it, accessories. Now the next one is knowledge about the job. Now it is very important that before you go for a job, you understand the job. Know what the job is all about. Every job in today's world, now they've made it so simple that before they give you a job, they will post a job, you see job description, requirements, skills and competence, they will put everything there. Make sure before you go for that job, you understand if you meet the requirement or not. Virtually, if you don't meet the requirement, they will not invite you for an interview in the first place. Next slide. Now, the next thing, knowledge of what type of interview you are going for. Now, the truth of the matter is most of the time when you are going for an interview, you don't know what kind of interview you are going for until you land in the interview hall. Now, these are some of the samples you see in an interview. Technical interview, unstructured interview, portfolio-based interview, case study interview. Now, if you are doing a technical interview is maybe for an engineering-like person or a public health person or different now. A technical interview, they will just ask you, what do you know about electrical circuits? If we adjust the transistor and put it on a resistor, blah, blah, blah. How do you know how to? That's a technical based interview. So you need to know your background and your stuff a lot, especially when you are vying for a technician position or you are vying for a technical person. Now, unstructured interview comes in a scenario where they are not really asking you about anything big. They're asking you who is the governor of your state, what do you like, how do you like what you like, what are your interests, what do you like to do. All those things are unstructured. They're just asking you random questions. It's nothing personal. Just something, just to keep it like chat, like a chat session. So that's that. But most people pray to have this unstructured interview so that they can get job appointment. Okay, now portfolio-based interview. Portfolio-based interview is just based on your certificates. What are your achievements? What have you achieved? What have you done? Then which brings that to case study interview. Case study interview has to do with problem solving skills. How much can you solve a problem when you see one? Do you run from a problem or do you face it? Now, panel interview has to do with 3 people interview. You have 3 people seated in front of you and you're sitting at the other end. And the 3 of them, we have the chairman, we have the HR personnel, and we have the specialist, the person that is specially in the course. So each of them are asking you questions based on what they feel you should know. And once you flop that one, bye-bye. Next thing. Next slide. Okay. Now, some questions we need to answer on job interview. Now, I did an unofficial interview with a girl, and I asked her, okay, assuming you were to come to an organization and ask you, tell me about yourself. What would you say? And she said, well, I'll say my name is Sandra. I came from Akwa Ibom State. I am 20 years old. I went to this. I'm a Christian. I'm a native of Mwe. I said, oh my God, what are you saying? Now, all those ones are stories. They are not interested. They are speaking Spanish. They're like, next person. They say, okay, we'll call you later. We'll send you. We'll get back to you. Story. They will never get back to you. Now, you should know how to sell yourself. When they ask you, tell us about yourself. You are talking based on professionalism. This is my work experience. This is what I have done. This is the job I have executed. These are my achievements.